Okay, so I'm back in my original seat, and this time we're going to imagine that it's 10 to 11. The bell has just rung to signal the end of interval, and I am off to English. So we're just going to see how we get there. So we go up the central staircase. There are other staircases round the side of the building that you access through the corridors. I'll show you those later. And we're now on the first floor. And you would head past the GP room, general purpose room. This classroom is principally used by PE staff to deliver the theoretical, the written element of that subject, and it's a perfect room for it because it has a great aspect over the gym, and if you're analysing practical work, you have a good view of what's going on down there. So that's what you often see going on in the PE department. Passing some interview rooms, which we share with Orchard Primary. More interview rooms and our conference room. Again, this is all shared with Orchard Primary. We're still on the first floor. There's one of the stairwells, or the stairs I was talking about earlier. So as pupils, you'll use those side stairs as well as the central staircase. And we're now heading towards English, but first we've got PS1, which is a room which is used by principal teachers of pupil support to deliver PSHE, which is personal, social and health education. So you'll usually have PSHE there with your PT or pupil support. Now we're in English, we're passing Miss Caulfield's classroom. Heading on through, lots of work up on the walls. Miss Snedden's classroom. Have a quick look around there. So she's everything kind of set out in English in groups to allow a lot of discussion. And then we've got Mrs. Ferry's classroom. Mrs. Ferry is the principal teacher of English. She's in charge of the English department. So this is her classroom. That's wallets that she has on her doors for pupils returning work. We'll have a quick look around in her classroom. There are certain things you'll see in every classroom. So every classroom has the vision and values posters up here. As you see, Mrs. Ferry's got hers up. Every classroom as well has one of these posters. They are posters which display the keywords used in all departments across the school. So English is different from humanities, for example, which is different to technical. And they help pupils with spelling of common tricky words found in that subject. And they have the diacritic marking on them, which helps particularly pupils who have been part of the Read Write Inc initiative with spelling. So they're found everywhere, but to be honest, these posters are useful for everybody. Okay. This is what's known as our book nook. It's sort of being reorganised at the moment, but it's just basically, if you go in through there, it's a kind of wee comfy corner where pupils can go and do a bit of private reading, and you often do come down the corridor and find some pupils in there having a wee read, just at whatever they want to read. More pupil work. Here we have Miss Carroll's classroom. Miss Carroll is one of our English teachers, and I'm just going to let you have a wee look inside her classroom because I always love to go in and see what work she's got up on the wall because it's always so creative and wonderful. So here we are. So this is Miss Carroll's room, and clearly there's been a bit of work done on fairy tales here because there's wonderful frieze up. Again, classroom organised into groups to make group work much easier, or teamwork, working together, that bit easier as well. So we're going to walk down. We have more English classrooms here. Mr. Darlington's. We've got our working wall where our pupils in English who are doing exams can help themselves to any of the work that's here, work away at it and hand it in for correction, and they just sort of are marking, and they basically just choose what they want to work on. Another English classroom here, that's Mrs. Smith and Mrs. Darlington. And we are now in the Humanities department. Humanities is Geography, History, Modern Studies, and RME, Religious and Moral Education. And what I would point out is we've just, again, made a big loop of the gym. So we're looking, if you look at those, if you just look through there, you're looking back across at the English classrooms, and you're looking back across there at, I think that's, yeah, it's Miss Snedden's classroom there. So it's really easy to find your way around this building because it's all in a great big loop. And there we have stairwell 2, or stair 2. You can access these classrooms that way. So that was Miss Heap's classroom. We've just passed Mrs. Ashton's classroom. Mrs. Mackenzie's. Mrs. Mackenzie is the principal teacher of Humanities. So that's Geography, History, Modern Studies and Religious and Moral Education. And in S1 and S2 you do social subjects, which is a mixture of all of those subjects. So you'll do a block where you're doing a geography focus block, you'll do a block with a modern studies focus and a block with history. So you get to basically experience them all and decide which suits you best, which is the best fit for you, which you find the most interesting or which is going to be the most useful to you in the future. And now we're at Humanities 5. Humanities 5 is a really important place for our Holdsworth pupils to know about. So if you're in H2 and H4, this is where you will find Mr. Ferry, and he is the principal teacher of pupil support for those classes. So H2, he also teaches RME, or he teaches RME in the school in there. Or he may be in staff zone 2. So that's another one of our staff zones. Humanities department and English department share that one. And here we are. We've done a great big loop. We're back at the top of the stairs. And if you look down, you can see the chair that I started out in, down in the social area. And I've done that in well under 8 minutes, so a bit longer that time, but I had the stairs to get up and down, so not too bad. And I want to actually really highlight where we're going just now because it is so important. This is the most important bit, as far as I'm concerned, of the tour for you in terms of you knowing where to go. So, you get to the top of the stairs, you're on the first floor, social area is over there, you're walking past the GP room, which is where the PE department do the kind of written element of their course, and then you're heading in towards where these interview rooms are that we share with Orchard Primary, and then you come through this door here, and this is the inclusion support base area of the school, also known as the learning zone. It is the place that you go to, and this is just to boil it right the way down for you, if you need an adult. If for any reason at all you need an adult because you're upset, because you're unhappy, because you're unsure of what to do, because you've forgotten something that you feel that you really need, because you're worried about anything that's going to happen in your day or has happened, then this is the place that you come. You will always find an adult in this area who can help you, who will help you, and who is here to support you. So we have a number of adults who can always be found in this area of the school. And I want you to know, when you're watching this tour, that we always have adults who are ready to help you, and whose job it is, whose purpose it is to be available to support all of our pupils. So in this area you will find Esther, who is our homeschool partnership officer. You will find Mrs. Bateman, who is our inclusion teacher. You will find Mr. Keating, who a number of you will know, along with Esther, from visits to your primary schools. You will find the principal teachers of pupil support. So you will find Mr Somerville and Miss Brown, who are responsible for pupils in Curran House, and you will find Mr Ferry and Miss Ferry and Mr Lang, who are responsible for pupils in Holdsworth House. So this is where you come if you need an adult. If there's any issue at all, you make your way here and they will help you out and they will look after you as best they can.